Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. I'm bouncing around from meeting to meeting today, but so glad to spend a few minutes with you here on this Monday afternoon, or it could be any day of the week and any time if you're watching this on our YouTube channel. So hello to everyone. And by the way, if you're on LinkedIn with me right now live, we do have all of our back recordings of all of our LinkedIn lives available at our channel on YouTube. Here's the link below. I'll throw it in there if I've hit the right button, which I think I have. So anyways, small business selling skills, that's what we're talking about today. The conversation I'll look at today is how do we set an agenda for sales conversations? And I mean, obviously, this will help everybody, whether you are a solo consultant, a solopreneur, freelancer, small business owner, and honestly, anytime you're in a sales conversation, I think this is a really powerful tool. And so what I want to look at here is how you begin a sales conversation. You maybe done a little small talk. You've kind of had that human to human part of your conversation. That's going well. Hopefully, it's going well. And then you're at a point where you want to kind of transition into actually the sales conversation. The first thing you want to do right there is stop and set up an expectation for what the person you're speaking to or the people you're speaking to, what the expectation they should have for that sales conversation. And by the way, speaking of starting things off, I totally forgot. I should do this. I always forget. Do me a favor. In the comments below, tell me where you're coming at us from. What city, state, zip code, country, area of the world you're in. It lets me feel that I'm actually talking to people and not just my camera in the home office that I have. So if you do that, I'd appreciate that. Throw that down there. But going back to this idea of setting an expectation, understand that when you are in any sort of sales conversation, it's highly likely that the person you're selling to, your prospect, does not know what's coming. They don't know what to expect in that sales conversation, because while you might talk to lots of prospects over time, they don't necessarily talk to a lot of salespeople over time. So there is a level of uncertainty that they have when they're going to this conversation. And uncertainty, as many of us know right now in the world of coronavirus, uncertainty isn't fun. So what setting an agenda allows us to do is give the people we're talking to some certainty about what is going to happen, at least for the next 30, 45 minutes, hour of their life. And I really learned at how important this is back when I was starting out as a brand new salesperson. I worked with a company called Cutco Cutlery. You might have had a college student come over and sell you knives. They're fantastic, by the way. They're great knives. I think I can still sell them. I think my contract's still valid. So hit me up if you want to get some Cutco. But one of the things that I learned and that was really powerful for me was at the beginning of my sales presentation, I had a quick, an agenda setting statement. It's something like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I really appreciate it. As I said over the phone, I get paid just to show this. And so you don't have to get anything. So there's no pressure or anything like that. However, if there's something that you see that you like, and hey, a lot of people do like this product, just let me know and we'll find the best way for you to get some. And it was something like that. And what have I done? I've said, hey, I'm going to show you this product. There's no pressure, which was true. All that was true. I wasn't making stuff. I was like, hey, I get paid just to be here. So, because there's a base pay, no pressure. I'm not going to be this high pressure salesperson, but I also said there'd probably be something that you saw that you might want because it was really good. And if that is, if you see something you like, tell me, we'll find the best way for you to get it. Right. So again, we set that expectation. Later on, I learned of something. I think this is from the Sandler system. And in fact, no, it's from the Sandler system, sales system, good old school stuff. He called it the upfront contract in his book. where you're setting an upfront contract at the beginning of sales conversations. And that upfront contract can be as simple as saying, and I'm trying to think of the way they went through it in the book. It's like, hey, thanks for spending time with me today. What I'm going to do is ask you some questions about this. At that point, I'll be able to, share kind of how our product or our service works. And then, afterwards, if it makes sense, I will ask for blank, whether that's I'll ask for another meeting where we're bringing more stakeholders. I'll ask you if you want to buy, I'll ask if you want to work together. And the interesting thing about the Sandler method is that you then say, so basically our goal is to either get to a yes or a no. The only thing we don't want to have is a maybe. And then you go, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, are you comfortable with telling me no? And they'd go, yeah, of course I'm comfortable with telling you no. And so you say, great. Because then the contract was, we're trying to get to a yes, meaning we're moving forward, or a no, we're done. We're not going to be caught in limbo, right? Where it's like, oh, call us back, or hey, we'll think about it, right? And both of these examples, what they're doing is they're setting an expectation up for what's about to happen in the conversation, but they also set up an expectation for how you're going to end the conversation. Like, what's the goal? And I find that this is really, really valuable, especially for people who aren't salespeople 100% of the time. So small business owners specifically, or again, if you're a graphic designer, if you're an attorney, if you're an accountant, if you're a web designer, just is somebody who's not selling all the time and is really focused as well on delivering a product or service, sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking to do the close, right? To be like, okay, now I'm going to ask you for the business. In fact, I found that a lot of times one of the biggest challenges small business owners have with selling is that they don't ask. What a good agenda setting does is it makes it comfortable for you to ask for the business once you're done with the conversation. And anything you can do to make that comfortable for you, that you can go and say, do you want to work together? Incredibly powerful. It's incredibly important. So for an example, one that I'll use and use to this day, let's say I'm sitting down with somebody who's maybe a coaching client, a prospective coaching client. And what I'll say is, hey, I would love to find out more about what you're working on, kind of how your business is going, maybe some of the challenges and opportunities that you're facing. I'll tell you a little bit about my background and kind of how I got to do what I do and kind of the approach that I take with my clients and how our coaching programs work. And then, if you think it makes sense to work together, I'll ask if you want to do that, if you want to work together, and I can map out the next steps. And if it's not a good fit, that's totally okay too. How does that sound? And when I say, how does that sound? That's kind of a question. They go, yeah, it sounds great, right? They want to know what I do. They want to share with me what's going on, and they want to see if we can work together. They're there for the same purpose. But again, when we're both there and we have really laid out what the expectation is, everybody's a lot more comfortable. So the challenge I have for you is think about, is there some sort of agenda setting that you can put into your conversations with your prospects? This, by the way, can also work even with existing clients who maybe you're going to go ask for some more business. You could sit down with them and say, hey, I want to find out how things are going, what you think of what we've done together so far. I'd like to tell you about one or two other things that we might be able to do for you, or this new service we have. And if it makes sense, we can start up with that. And if not, that's totally okay as well, right? We've just outlined what we're trying to create in that conversation. So, so there you go. Set an agenda. A couple final things. As I mentioned up top, if you want to go back and review this session or any session that we have, find us on YouTube. I also have a coaching group specifically for small business owners, for solo consultants, solopreneurs, freelancers, the people that have to sell and do other things as well, like run a business, deliver things to clients, manage a team, whatever it might be. So if you are in that situation or you know somebody in that situation, please go check out our coaching group. I'm really, it's a great group. Really great community of people that, obviously I do a lot of teaching, but there's a lot of support within the group as well. You can find that at sellinglaunchpad.com. It's called DFish's Selling Launchpad because we're launching you to success. Cheesy, I know. It's totally cheesy, but it's really a great group. So please check that out. I'm going to come back to you this week, not tomorrow because I'm running webinars all day, but I will be here at 11:30 on Wednesday and 12 o'clock noon on Thursday. So if you can't remember that, just send me a message and I'll send you an email to remind you. I'm trying to figure out the best way to tell people about upcoming sessions within the LinkedIn system. But other than that, we're at time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And I think that's it. Peace.